Hello everyone and good evening. We are from Group B, Section 02. Today we will present to you about the experiment 9, which is rolling disc on inclined plane. So my name is Muhammad Mustaqim bin Muhammad Nazri, ID number MA19079, and these my other group members. So without further ado, let's move on to the introduction of this experiment. Okay, so what is a rolling inclined plane? Rolling along an inclined plane is an accelerated rolling due to the force of gravity acting through center of mass. An incline is an ideal arrangement to realize accelerated rolling motion. Force due to gravity acts through the center of mass of the rolling body. So let's go check out some our quick theory. So a disc is rolled on a spindle across the center of an inclined track made up of two rails. The track's inclination can be easily changed by lifting a height bar equipped end. There are two discs included, each with a distinct size and weight. This allows for the calculation of two moments of inertia. The time it takes for the disc to roll down the hill is used to calculate its moments of inertia. So the objective of this experiment is to learn how a disc rolling down an inclined plane's mass moment of inertia, angular acceleration, and angular velocity are related.
My name is Nur Shahira Penti Zunaidi. My ID number is MA190X7. So I will continue this presentation for experiment setup. In this experiment, we use large sellotape for this one, which is the large disc. The diameter is 95 mm and the mass is 80 gram. And then for the second disc, we use small sellotape, which is the diameter is 45 mm and the mass is 40 gram. And the next board as an inclined plane, and then 7 books for adjust the angle of inclination. And next, phone stopwatch to measure the time. Lastly, ruler to measure the desired distance for board. Okay, next for experiment procedure. So this is the experiment procedure. Experiment was set up at home. So I will show you how I set up and how I run the experiment. Hello, so this is how I set up the experiment and how I run the experiment. Firstly, I set up the inclined plane with the desired angle of inclination. The board I will use in this experiment is 740 mm. The sellotape was placed at the 0 position and stopwatch start once the sellotape let go. And I will stop the stopwatch when the sellotape at the end of the board. And I will repeat the procedure for each disc or for each sellotape 3 times to minimize the measurement error. And lastly, I will repeat the procedure small and large sellotape with different angle of inclination. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khairunisa binti Azmi. My ID number is MA19102. So I'm going to present result of our group experiment. Okay, this formula, we use all these 3 formula to get acceleration, mass moment of inertia, and also time. Okay, for table 1, there is a roll time for a distance of 740 mm. Our group discussed to take distance 740 mm. So, we take 3 times experiment to get mean time for the large disc and also small disc. For table 2, there is a value for acceleration, calculate time, measure time, deviation for large disc. Okay, all this value we calculate from the previous formula that I have shown before. Measure time here is from the timing that we take from the experiment. So for table 3 is same as table 2. All this value we got from the formula that I have shown before. And lastly, for table 4 is result for test 2. So test 2 result we got from our lecturer. That's all from me.
Hi, my name is Jirol Dewi Suparin and my ID number is MA19N116. So I want to present part discussion. So this is the question 1 until number 4. So the first question is how to adjust the angle of inclinations. To adjust the angle of inclination, we turning the head of adjuster spindles. The angle can be adjusted by adding more books, so the head of inclined surface increase. Number 2, what is the purpose of angulometer? Angulometer is a device to measure the external angles. In these experiments, it is used for measuring the angle of inclination so that the experiment will set up within the parameter. Number 3, can you give an alternative method to measure the angle of inclinations? An alternative method to measure the angle of inclinations is by using protractor. We can put the protractor on the floor and measure the angle inclination of the board. So number 4, how to make a precise alignment for this experiment. To make a precise alignment for this experiment is by making sure the floor or any surface is flat to avoid angle inclination error. In order to make sure the angle inclination is perfect, use the protractor to check it. Next is the question number 5 to 7. Number 5, why the angle higher than 7 degree cannot be used for this experiment? Because higher the angle, higher the speed will occur. The disc rolling in the high speed and the time taken for it to reach the endpoint of the plane will be more short, so that the result of experiment may lead to error measurement. Number 6, give the definitions of free fall theory which discovered by Galileo. A motion is uniformly accelerated when air frictions and resistance is negligible depend to the object mass. Last one, give the factor that cause free falling body. The factors that cause free falling body is the gravitational accelerations and relation to the mass object. The force of gravity will make the object to fall toward the center of Earth. The acceleration due to the gravity is constant. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Nizam Manasih, MA19124. So I will continue for question 8. Question 8 is what is the relation between angle of inclination and the rolling disc? A disc rolled down an incline moves slowly and can be easily timed if the angle of the inclination with the horizontal is minimal. It is feasible to calculate the disc relation using time and distance data. As a result, the relation dV that as the angle of incline increase so does the acceleration. Number 9. Explain the term inertia. The ability of an item to receive any change and state of motion or rest, including change in speed and direction, is known as inertia. Objects have tendency to continue traveling in a straight line at steady velocity unless they are disrupted by an internal force. Change in object speed or direction of motion are included. Number 10. Why repeatability of motion is important? The most critical parameter of any measurement method is measurement repeatability. The obtained data is useless without strong reproducibility from the measurement system. Measurement repeatability in particular is critical in determining product reliability. The GNU result will be altered if the repeatability procedure is faulty or methodology tools are not repeatable. Question 11. Draw probability diagram of the disc roll on inclined plane. So this is the free body diagram. Number 12. When deviation occurs between calculated and measured value. Because of the measurement inaccuracy, there are difference between the calculated and measured value. For example, a pilot's error can occur when the observer eye is not properly aligned with the pointer and the scale, resulting in a reading that is excessively high or low. Other than that, it's possible that this influence is due to equipment flaw as is conical shock genre. Number 13. Suggest improvement of the experiment. To eliminate a resistant interface, which the experiment shall be carried out in vacuum environment. To ascertain the true measure value, the experiment shall be repeated numerous times. The experiment shall be repeated and carried out on the surface to minimize mistake. So that for the discussion. Thank you. So for the conclusion, we can learn a lot from the experiment. The theoretical angular acceleration of the rolling disc was estimated from the result of the experimental angular acceleration using a simplified kinematic equation and the summation of moment utilizing mass moment of inertia. Experiment with the disc starting at zero, the most serious faults are caused by wrong selection of the rule starting point and the contact site fluctuation effect. We learn a lot from the experiment. Also keep in mind that the angular acceleration is constant and that the angular velocity increase as this rotates. Roll down the hill as result. The link between mass moment of inertia, angular acceleration, and velocity is stabilized. If the error source is ignored, the angular velocity is successfully measured in this experiment. Thank you.